Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Last time out we got this aircraft started, the 737 with the Zibo mod, so the latest version of the Zibo mod, which a few videos ago, actually 2 videos ago now, I showed you how to install if you're new to it, and certainly how to get used to some of the new stuff, because there are some new features. So I did look at a few things, look at some of the new options and configuration things that you can do. In this video I'm going to actually be trying to fly the aircraft. First time in a long time I'm going to be flying this aircraft, so please do excuse the bad flying. It has been probably over a year, and in that time, has it been over a year? Maybe a year. 6 months to a year. Oh, I'm trying to remember now how long it has been. It's certainly been more than 6 months since I've last flown this aircraft. So I have been flying light aircraft the entire time. When I do, which is very little at the moment anyway. This is going to be interesting. So what the idea is of this video is I'm going to be doing a few circuits, just very simple circuits around Echo Golf November X-Ray East Midlands Airport. We might do one with autopilot. Without autopilot we'll do one with the flight director. Without the flight director we'll see just how we do it. I might do one, in fact this first one I'm going to do completely manually and see just what feel I get for this aircraft again. So make sure you stay tuned to see how to perform a circuit in an aircraft like this, first of all, and secondly just how bad I've got at flying what is my favourite jet, barring Concorde that is, and the Jumbo. What is my third favourite jet? Right, going to just make sure that things are all okay, so I'm going to stick this to, not that, we're going to leave this on takeoff. Where's the takeoff page? There is the takeoff page. So we're going to leave that on there. I think everything is fine for us. Oh, I do have this, occasionally things jump back and forth for some reason. I have been trying to work, I think it's got to do with, it's got to do with this for some reason. I'm going to just double check my controls. What does this do? View zoom. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that and set that, and I think this is what has caused my problems. Let's set that to nothing. There we go. That should help. That should very much help. So there we go. We can now see. Now something interesting. See these little yellow wings? I was told that these wings are showing you the absolute limit at where this aircraft can fly, and I think it's great. So as long as you do not exceed those wings, you can fly the aircraft, and the aircraft will not stall. Which is awesome. I really want to learn more and more about this aircraft, but I just have not had a chance, and also not being able to go to the airport and talk to the pilots due to the whole situation, the pandemic around the world. It has been a bit annoying, I suppose, but that is just how it is. So I believe I am ready to go. We are lined up nicely. Everything is as it should be. We're on VOR 1, which is fine. VOR 1, VOR 2. We have the flight directors on. I'm not arming the auto throttle for this. We're looking for a 2,000 foot per minute vertical speed. That is what I am looking for. Everything seems fine. All right. I think we are pretty much ready to take off. So we're going to take off. Fly heading 269 as best as we can until we get to, well, that's 9 nautical miles. We should by that time be at 3,000 feet. We're going to level off 3,000 feet, and then we're going to enter a right hand circuit. So we're going to take the crosswind leg. We'll go, oh, I don't know, We'll do a few miles on the crosswind leg, come back down on the downwind, come around, bring it back in on the base at 9 miles, turn back in, and we should be able to land quite nicely. In fact, I might go slightly further than 9 miles, but there we go. Right, hopefully I've got all of this sorted. I really am not 100% sure, but let's stabilize this. So 40%. That looks stable. Release parking brake. Keep the nose down. There is a slight wind, 80 knots, cross checks.
V1, rotate.
Up we go.
Positive rate.
Positive rate, gear up. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. And now we bring this back. Now, climb procedure. I'm ignoring all of this. I do not need any of that.
400.
400 feet. Flaps can come in. We are going for no flaps. And you can see that as soon as we do that, we need to bring the nose up. So that was a bad takeoff. And I'm going to bring this up to, let's say, 210. So that's the speed I would like. 1000. Let's reduce that slightly further. So what went wrong there? Well, first of all, I just did not do that properly. So that was terrible. I'll be honest, that was probably the worst takeoff I've done in this particular aircraft for a long time. 1,000 feet to go. Now we're doing okay on the climb out. I'm trying to hold 10 degrees there. It's very sensitive at the moment for some reason. Bring the throttles back, bring the nose down to there, throttles come back, and there we go. That was not too bad overall. So the climb out was okay. I'm still going a little too fast. Do not descend, do not descend. It's 7.5 degrees that I need, if I remember correctly. And we are drifting ever so slightly. Maybe trim the aircraft just a bit for this. So trim command's not working. They are now responding now. That's good. Speed's coming down as expected. So we're going to continue flying this. At this point, I am also going to bring my minimums now. I do need to check the minimums. What are we looking at? 482. Okay, that's looking pretty good. We're slightly below what I would like. So I'm just going to try and get that climb and add in just that little bit of power. So bring that down to 482. There we go. Okay, now we need to begin our first turn, so easy, just take a quick look over onto that side. Seem fairly clear, which we are going to be, of course, and add in just a smidge of power as we bring the aircraft into our turn. We're going to go for a 20-degree turn today. Watch that nose. And since it's a 20-degree turn, 10 degrees before, we would like to roll out, and so we would like to roll out at 350 so that we smoothly end up at 360. Whoops, not washing the nose again. Speed is pretty good. Not sure what it's complaining about. 2500. Let's start rolling that out gently. 358. Okay, we can roll that out perhaps a little later. Touch more throttle. We'll put the auto brakes onto max because actually we'll put it onto 3. So what I'm planning to do, the idea here is I'm going to come back on the brakes, and I'm going to pretty much slow the aircraft down maximum, go back onto the taxiway and then do it again. So we're not doing touch and goes. Okay, we seem to be... The takeoff was poor. The rest of this seems fairly okay. I'll stick this into continuous for both of these. We're going to leave the landing lights on. The rest of this is fine. Just gotta watch our drift. The second run we're going to actually time ourselves, and we'll see what kind of time we've got. Although the reason I've not hit the timer today is A, I forgot, and B, there's no real need to do the timer because I'm just doing circuits. Airspeed is holding really nicely now. Once I've sort of stabilised that, it's holding very nicely. Just got to watch my altitude a little. Just be ever so slightly careful on that. The problem with my throttles are there's a little notch, and that's where I want my throttle to be right now. So it's very difficult to keep it in that zone. So you can see when I let go, throttles come up a percent. And that is annoying. So watch, I'm going to let go and you'll see there goes the throttles. They're creeping up slowly. And that's just the throttle moving up on its own. It seems to be holding there. Nope, it's still going up. Okay, I will now begin the next turn. So we're going to head for 089. Again, 20 degrees of bank for this one. Lift the nose up ever so slightly, just a couple more degrees, and give it a touch more throttle to compensate. So we're at 25 degrees of bank there. Let's do that. There we go. Actually using the turn to lose just a little bit of altitude here. Let's roll ourselves out. Zero, 8, 9, exactly as I wanted. Again, keep an eye on the altitude and the speed. So far, it's okay. We're not doing terribly. I'm not happy with the takeoff at all. That takeoff was poor. I'm also just trying to trim this just to get things running nicely. That looks about stable. So at this point in time my hands are off the controls, so I'm just seeing what the aircraft's going to do. It seems to be doing okay. It's got that slight climb. I'm slowing down a little more than I would like, so I'm just going to give it another 1%, 2% of power. And you can see that there we seem to be okay now. So that's roughly 3,000 feet, give or take just a tad. We're also drifting ever so slightly, so this aircraft just, if you turn the controls and leave them just slightly off, it just, for some reason in X-Plane, it seems to keep that. In the real aircraft, it doesn't seem to do that. So when you turn it back, once it's center, it's center. In X-Plane, it just seems to keep the slight tilt for some reason. So we just have to be aware of that. Either that, or it does do it in the real aircraft, but because you've got an actual yoke and you've got all the controls in front of you, you're much better set up for it. I'm still climbing a tad, so I'll bring that trim back 40 feet over. There we go, coming back down. That is not looking too terrible though. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot past a few miles, and then the idea is I will turn onto base and we will begin slowing down. So on the base leg we're going to try and slow down to 180, turn onto, come on, tilt, bring that down. We'll turn on to final at speed 180, flaps probably at 5, and then we will keep that speed until we are in a descent. We'll begin our descent from 3,000 feet. Once we begin our descent, as soon as we get to I'm just thinking about what the best way to do this is going to be. Speeding up just a smidge. Try and bring that, come on, bring it down. I'll just hold my hand there then. There we go. Just ease that speed off. And I've got to be careful on the heading as well. See, now we're not heading on a perfect downwind leg. Something to bear in mind. I think my controls are a little bit sensitive here, because if I do that I can see the aircraft want to pull up and I'm barely touching it, so that's something to change too, which I might do on the second run. Again, that's one of the things that that is one of the things that you do not get in the real aircraft. You don't have to worry about your controls being too sensitive due to your software calibration. Well, I suppose you could in an Airbus worry about that, but not in an aircraft like this. Right, let's lift that nose slightly. See, if I could show you exactly what I was doing, I've literally got my finger at the top of my control column, control stick, and I'm not even moving it to the point where the stick begins to flex on the spring. I'm just moving it using the play of the stick, and that is all I'm doing. Certainly I think that is a bit sensitive, just a little bit. For turning left and right it's okay, it's the pitch that's the problem. Roll is fine. Bit more power. Always have to be careful. The last thing you want to do, one of the things is the last thing you want to do is lose your speed or lose your altitude. You always have to keep an eye. I've learnt to scan. So you look out towards the horizon, I look down to the PFD. I look out towards the horizon, I look down to my MFD, or my ND, sorry. I look up towards the horizon, I look down towards back at my PFD, and I just do that. That's my scan, my general scan. And then every few scans I'll glance across and I'll just take a look at my engine readouts to make sure everything's okay there. And that's how I do this. So I know that I'm 100 foot up and I'm slightly fast, but I should be able to manage that. Okay, we're going to see if we can turn now once again. Now I know it's clear, so I'm just going to turn in. Let's begin the turn. It's a good turn, 25 degrees. Keep the nose down. That's it. Changing heading to 180, at which point I'm going to slow the aircraft down. So we're speeding up now. Now I think I might be slightly high here, but we will work on that. I was hoping to. I might have just got this exactly where I wanted. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the throttles back. I'm going to still maintain what I need to maintain on the altitude, so 3000. But I'm going to bring the throttles back, bring this back to 180, so I know what I'm doing. Setting my approach is going to be flaps 30. There you go. That's been set, and we're slowing down to 180. So, whoops! Don't do that. Make sure everything's okay for landing. I'm just going to let the aircraft slow itself down, which you should be able to without any problems. Not even at idle yet. I'll tell you what, I'll do 179. And you'll notice that it starts to get a little bit harder to keep the aircraft at the right altitude. That's because obviously I'm losing speed, so the aircraft is losing lift slowly, so you have to maintain and manage that, which is not a problem really, because at this point, first stage flaps, second stage of flaps. Watch that lift. Whoa, watch the ballooning on the aircraft. That's interesting. There we go. Third stage of flaps. Bring some power back in. Okay, so with the flaps it's interesting, because suddenly the aircraft just pushed so heavily. I've not experienced that before. I'm not sure if that's perfectly correct. Right, let's bring it down to 170, and we're going to hold 170 as we turn in. So I have played around with the trim to try and help me on that. So that's something to take into consideration as well, is that the flaps are they really do push the aircraft up. I've just realised how long this video already is, just to do one circuit. Start turning ourselves in now. I think we should be okay for a turn like that. I'm actually going to start descending ever so slightly. So there we go. And I'm hoping this brings us onto the glide slope exactly as I want it to. In fact, we might be further out than I think. We are further out than I think. What's the third fix for? That's interesting. But we are coming up on the localizer nicely, which is exactly what I was after. Yeah, I've just realised we are a lot further out than I thought we were. We can see the runway now. So at this point, you just bring it in as you do, and line up.
2,500.
Thank you, computer. I'm just waiting for the ILS to come up. No, we are okay. I just do not understand why the ILS is showing what it's showing. Because no, we got reds. Yeah, we are very low. Why? Okay, my fix rings are interesting. Fix 5. Oh, there's a 15. I did not realise I put a 15 out there. I did not realise I put a 15 out there. In fact, I'll still put that up to 3,000. Bring this down now to my reference speed, which is going to be 129, I think. No, you don't. I know I'm coming up on the ILS now. Also, I'm wavering a little bit from the centre line. Keep that going. What I'm trying to do here is not climb and not descend. It's not bad for my first flight in a long time. This is why pilots do the training, because you do forget some of the skills. Okay, coming up on the glide slope now. So now we go into a descent. There it is. Nice and smooth. We're still not going to release the, or drop the landing gear. Not just yet. I'll tell you when we'll do that. For now, we're just trying to increase our rate of descent without increasing our speed, which of course for that flaps would come in handy. That's okay. We can manage this. And now we will go flaps, landing gear out, push that speed down as the landing gear comes out. Landing gear did not come out. Why did the landing gear not come out? Oh, there's been a change in controls. Okay, that completely messed me up. I did not realise there was a change in the controls. So you now have to press it twice. It goes from up to off now, not just straight to. Okay, well that's completely scuppered this approach. That has completely and utterly scuppered this approach. Let's see if I can do anything though with this one.
1,000
feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Stabilized, perhaps not as much as you think, but sure.
Approaching 27.
Thank you. This is going to be one interesting landing now. And I think I'm actually going to end it with just that one. I'll do another takeoff, but I think I'll end it with the one.
500.
Just the one
400.
circuit. That's it.
Approaching minimum. 300. 200.
Okay, I'm still managing it. It's still
Minimums.
landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
That was apparently a hard landing. I'll be honest, I did not. One thing to bear in mind as well is that the aircraft is no reverses needed on that. One thing to bear in mind is that the aircraft is higher up than what I've been used to for quite some time. So that was interesting. Obviously, there's a couple of things that have changed. Oh, quiet you. No, we're taking off again, so you can.
We ask that you please use caution when opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from any items that may have shifted during the flight.
No, we're still taking off, so right, let's continue back down here.
Laptop computers may not be used at this time. Before you leave the aircraft, please be sure to check your seat pocket, the overhead
We'll
bins,
just do
and the
that,
floor
just
area
to
around
do
your seat
things
for any personal
properly. I
articles
wonder what
you may
that
have
was.
brought
That
on
just
board. We'd like
not
to
sure
thank you for
what
flying with
happened
us.
there.
We've enjoyed having you on board today and look forward to serving you again soon.
Right, let's bring
Thank you
ourselves
and have a
back
great day.
to flaps 5. And that's going back to flaps 5. I'm also going to, we'll stop on the runway, and I'm going to change out I'm going to recalibrate something. Also, I've noticed that the steering wheel, or the tiller, should I say, acts differently now. Yeah, the tiller acts differently. Okay, so there have been some under the surface changes then to this that I need to also consider. So that was not the greatest takeoff, nor was it the greatest landing. The landing was, I would say, okay. Tell you what, let's take this taxiway. If we can make it. Yep, we can make it. Entering runway 27 once again. And this time, as I said before, I take off.
Approaching 27.
Thank you, computer.
On runway 27.
Right, now you go away. Parking brake applied. Let's give this a look. So this is important for me doing things. General config hardware. You're all okay, that's fine. No, what am I after? Calibration? Calibration, there we go. Okay, pitch null zone. There's that, and there's also the... So first of all, you can see here, there you go, that's me not... That's just the play on my controls. So I need to clearly... No, it's still got play. So I want to be able to...
On runway 27. On runway 27.
I want to be physically making a... Still not... What's interesting is it's doing it in the push direction, but not in the pull. Roll again. Look, there is a little bit of play there. Let's do 10. That's better. Yaw is absolutely fine. So that's fine. And I think what might be a good idea is to go up to this, take a look at the controls, and recalibrate these. That's gone through the full. It's interesting. It didn't accept. It didn't do. It's not taking all of it, it seems. There. What else needs to go? View up, down, okay. There. Are you happy with that? Let go of the controls, allowing them to be in their centered position, okay. There. Okay, done. Let's see what you've got now. Let's give that another go. So, 129, set,
On runway
heading,
27.
quiet.
On runway 27.
Let's go back for the takeoff. Okay. Flaps 5. Is it not going to have everything again? Okay, you know what? We do not need this. I know what my takeoff and landing speed is. 129 for the landing. Takeoff 130. 129 for landing, 129 for takeoff. Essentially. Stabilized.
knots.
80 knots. V1, rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Still not great. Still not great. But that was better. Smoother on the takeoff.
1,000.
Flaps up. $12.5 It is a lot. I will say one thing. It is a lot harder in a sim to do this. A lot harder in a sim to do this. At home anyway. So for those people who do this and do it fantastically well, I applaud you. I really do. Almost had it there. Almost had it. Almost. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end it. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. If you fly this aircraft a lot, what tips do you have perhaps for setting it up in terms of the controls? Obviously getting to fly the aircraft is just a matter of practice. That is obvious, but how would you set up the controls? What do you guys do? Is there any specific controls, any specific calibrations? You've seen my controls setup. You've seen my control stick. It's a X52 Pro. If you've got any ideas, I would really like to hear that. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. I'll be honest, this actually went better than I thought it would. 3 or 4 takeoffs and landings, it's a bit of practice, and I think I should be back into this. Then I can see what other kind of content I can create. One thing to learn, and again, this is a point for everybody. Watch this. Doesn't go down, goes to off now. It does not go up and down. There is an option for off. That caught me out on the approach. Hopefully those people who are flying this, it does not catch you out. Just be aware. Anyway, that is all from me. I will see you next time in X-Plane 11, where I'll think of something. I'm sure I'll think of something. I'll see you then.